So one of the most controversial topics in Escape from Tarkov, in my opinion, has to be money runs. There are hundreds of videos of people claiming that they have the best money-making loot runs in Tarkov, and I'm here to tell you that they are all wrong. With the release of Streets and Lighthouse, everyone and their mother is going to tell you that's where you need to go to make the big bucks, but that's exactly what we want. While all these bozos are over there running these lame-ass maps, we're going to go back to the OG money run map that everyone seems to have forgotten about. Reserve. Not only am I telling you that Reserve is the best money run map in Tarkov, I'm also telling you that I make anywhere between 600 and 1.5 million rubles per run from one single building on Reserve. In this video, I'll be showing you guys the route in an offline raid as well as running a live raid where I pull over 1.6 million rubles worth of loot in a single run. All right, so before we go into raid, I want to talk a little bit about kind of our loadout and the stuff that you should be bringing. Obviously, the goal of this is to get as much loot and as much money as possible. So you want to bring the biggest rig and the biggest backpack that you can afford or buy. And then everything else is kind of up to you and your personal preference. This is kind of how I go in. I've got two guns here just to kind of give you guys an example. Normally, I'll go in with like a stock AK-104 or a 103. And what I like to do is take in a stock version of the gun, and then as we go through and loot all of the weapon boxes, I kind of build it up from there until eventually you get to something kind of like this. A couple of keys that you're going to want to bring, kind of ignore these, we're not really going to talk about those. RBAK and RBAM. Since we're going to be looting Black Bishop, I bring the AK key to get into drop room through the door because it's a lot safer that way, and this key is only like 14k 15k. It's even cheaper now. It's basically free. I bring AM because that's just even more stuff that you can loot, and it's also very cheap, and there's also an intel spawn in there. So without further ado, let's hop into raid and I can show you guys this loot run. All right, so this is the building we're looking for. This is Black Bishop. Right here's a helicopter, up there is Dome, and this is going to be the main focus of the entire video. So I'm just going to kind of go through this like I normally would on any loot run, just kind of talk about it as I go and basically show you guys why I think this is one of the best loot runs that you can do. First up, we're going to go into this room. I'm pretty sure this is the RBAM key. There you go. And what I like about this room is there's a jacket, and then there's a bunch of toolbox spawns. There aren't any toolboxes this time, but I've had up to 4 in here. And then there's also an intel spawn on this stool. Basically, what I do on these loot runs is take absolutely everything, and then I will start to substitute stuff out towards the end of the run. Now, pretty much every room inside of this building is going to have something, whether it's a jacket, filing cabinet, duffel bag, weapon box, PC, you name it, it's going to have something in it, and that's kind of our goal, is to loot everything. With the change to how they do all of the crates and duffel bags and stuff being dynamic, sometimes you'll come in this building and just find an absolute ton of duffel bags, crates, stuff like that. Sometimes you'll come in and only find a few. It really just depends. But nonetheless, this is still a really good run. So we're going to keep going. Typically, when you come into this building, if you're the first one there and you know you're the first one there, obviously you want to go straight to drop room. But of course, since this is an offline raid, I'm just kind of going through and showing you guys every room one by one. Over here, we're going to unlock drop room, and this is obviously going to be where you're most likely going to find GPUs and stuff like that. This time it wasn't very good, only an ES lamp on the shelf, but what I like about this room is usually there's 2 PC blocks and then 1 or 2 duffel bags just to find some even more stuff. So finishing up in drop room here, as you can see, we've looted the first and second floor and we're already completely full. Obviously, we don't have the maximum amount of money here that we can make. So we're going to keep going and then start dropping things that are less valuable and picking up things that will sell for more. Moving into this room, if you don't have the RBAK key, you would jump out of this window onto that ledge into the other window, and then that's how you would normally get into drop room. But the key is only like 8k, so if you have flea market, I would suggest buying it for sure. All right, so that was the end of the building. The third floor really didn't have anything. I don't know if it's because we're offline or what, but typically when I come to this building, my bag is pretty much full about midway through the second floor. And then once I get up to the third floor, I find a lot more duffel bags, weapon crates, and stuff like that. So now that we're completely full on loot, every space is filled. We've got some stuff in our docks case even. You have 3 options. So I would say that there's about 3 tiers of different ways that you can do this loot run. The beginner way, I would say, is to bring a really big rig, no backpack, and then just extract out a sewer manhole. That's going to be probably the fastest and safest way. The mid-tier way of doing this is what I do, and that is to go around this building and go into D2 and extract that way. Obviously, you have the risk of running into a camper, so that is totally up to you. And then I would say the high-tier way is obviously having a red rebel, bringing in an armored rig, and extracting up at dome. But for me personally, whenever I'm done with this run, I like to come out of this door, head around the building, and then start making my way down to D2. The good thing about extracting on D2 is it means you have a lot more opportunities for loot. So we're going to go over all of that right now, and I'm going to show you guys what you can expect along the way. Typically when I come in here, there's upwards of 4 toolboxes, a bunch of ration supply crates and stuff like that. Usually there's a toolbox right here. We got one over here. Coming over here through the hole in the wall, you got some weapon attachment spawns right here. Loose loot around here. Weapon box here. Weapon box can spawn there. Toolbox over here. Toolbox right there. I mean, just make sure you're looking around with the new dynamic changes to the loot crates and just make sure that you see everything. We're going to come through here, search all these rooms. Usually there's a bunch of duffel bags in here. I've seen up to 3. Go down the hallway. A couple rooms down here. This one right here usually has some duffel bags, has a jacket. Once we finish up down there, we're going to make our way down this hallway, and then there's 2 more spots that we're going to loot here. We got a room over here that usually has duffel bags, 1 or 2. Check the shelves, stuff spawns on the shelves. Make our way down here, there's another crate right here. Once we're done with that, we're going to go down through here and make our way into the main area of D2. So usually by the time I get here, there's already been a lot of fighting. Every time I come down here, there's dead bodies. Power's already on, stuff like that. Make sure you check around. There are weapon boxes here. And what I like to do is come around here. I typically won't loot these crates in the middle just because I don't want to get headshot by somebody creeping around. Make our way this way towards the power button. Checking all through here for toolboxes, stuff like that. Flip the power on and then check all of these racks. I'd say out of the 40 runs I've done this wipe, I've never had to turn the power on. It's always on before I get down here. Nothing on the racks. We're going to come in here, and now this is going to be one of the spots where you have to decide if it's worth your time or not, because there is an absolute ton of filing cabinets. So we've got 2 here, 1 over there, 2 more here, weapon box. Make sure you're checking the desk for intel, rare spawn, stuff like that. 1, 2, 3 filing cabinets. Another weapon box can be there. And then if you come around over here, 2 more filing cabinets, weapon box back here, another filing cabinet. So when I started doing this run, it was mainly to hit the filing cabinet so I can get all my gas hands, different hideout items, and most importantly, it was for flash drives. So I'm going to loot all of this real quick, and then we're going to see what kind of stuff we can pull out of it. All right, so now that we've looted absolutely everything down here in these rooms, our bag is completely full again, and we've also swapped out a lot of stuff that's not really worth a lot for some things that are worth a lot. We're gonna head to extract, and that is gonna be through D2. And then this is another point where you need to make a decision. You can either go left right here to continue to extract, or you can go over here and loot this stuff. I personally never come over here and loot just because it's risky and I don't know who's hiding over here, but I'm going to show you anyways. You can check these shelves for some tech loot and stuff like that. And then you got this little back office here, and there's more shelves. Apparently there's an intel spawn right here. You've got computer, filing cabinets, and then a safe. Like I said, I personally don't come down here and loot this stuff typically because by the time I'm ready to extract, I just have a ton of money and I just want to make sure I get out. A lot of people will sit up on these or sit over here, and I just don't want to take the risk of getting ratted. And you can sit right here, wait for people to come through the door and just blast them as they're running in. Check around on the floor in here. There can be some decent stuff. Coming down here, there's 2 duffel bag spawns that I've seen, one back here and then one over here. Typically, if somebody has already come through and extracted before me and the duffel bag is there, they never see it, so I always loot that. Sometimes I'll see this one. And then obviously back here, I've seen 2 duffel bags right here before, and then you got the 2 jackets. And then once you've looted all that, it is time to leave. Here's kind of a look at what we got. Obviously, this is an offline raid, so I'm not going to be able to sell all this stuff and tell you how much money that I made. However, I do think that the offline raid kind of screwed us a little bit on loot because normally I'm coming out with way better stuff than this. So I'm gonna do kind of a speed run through a online raid and come out and show you guys what kind of money I made from that. All right, here we go. Probably not a lot of commentary, but I will talk a little bit as I go. Not the best spawn, but we will make do. Never seen that there, but if you want an air filter, there you go. Look at that. 4 duffel bags in this room. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember how I said that the offline seemed like there was a lot less loot? I've only looted the bottom floor, and this is what I have. Bottom floor and drop room. Alright, so we've looted every room. Show you our bag real quick. This is what we're looking like. Pretty good, not bad. A lot of high ticket stuff here. 150, 80, 50 to 60, another 50. Yeah, just some really good stuff in here. So we're going to go ahead and start making our way to extract. Typically when I'm doing this, I don't like to fight. I'm only getting involved in PvP if I have to. As you can see, I don't have the best aim in the world, especially with a gun that kicks this much. But we're going to start making our way down to D2. So you have two options here. You can go left and go down the way that we did in the offline run and loot all the filing cabinets and stuff. Or you can go down to the right, walk through the water, and kind of work your way around, which I feel like is a little bit safer. And especially in this case, when we have this much money worth of stuff, we're not really going to be looting anymore. If I feel like I've made a lot of money, I am just not going to go in areas that I feel like I might die. But we do have to turn the power on, so we'll make a quick detour and do that. There are player scabs down here. Alright, since we're kind of stuck in the water here, our only option is to go forward. If I had worse ammo, I probably wouldn't be okay with that, but I kind of need to get out of this water. Pretty sure that was player scab, but I don't know. That's a very expensive key. So as you can see, this underground area is quite contested between regular scavs, player scavs, raiders, players. Like, there's just all kind of nonsense going on down here. So D2 is definitely not your best option, but it is an option. Okay, so we really need to get out now. There's somebody down here. Definitely don't want to get any fights down in D2. Really sure what this guy's doing? And we're out. Just gonna hop on out and then we'll see what we got. All right, so this is the haul. Everything in the rig, pockets, the bag, some stuff down in our docks case. And I would say this is probably one of the best loot runs that I've had on reserve. So now I'm gonna go ahead and dump everything, sell it all off, and show you guys how much money we made. Just for reference, we're starting at 2.9.5 mil, and we'll see where we're at after this. Keep in mind, we just got a 100,000 key. Pretty sure this one's about 270,000, and that one's about 30,000. So that's not normal finding keys like that. So just keep that in mind. All right, so I've got everything listed on the market. We're sitting at 2.8.5 million roughly. So I'll put up on the screen what we spent on flea market fees, and then I'll go sell the rest of this to therapists and collect all the money, and we'll see where we're at. All right, so pretty much everything is sold. I've got one more thing listed right now for about 24K. Keep in mind, these are the things that I'm keeping from that run. Gonna keep the mutant, the VPX for a quest or hideout, some food items, and then the BS ammo. Obviously, these are things that I'm keeping, but I'm sure there's another, I don't know, 150K worth of stuff here. I'm not really sure what this stuff sells for. I don't even think you can sell that. About 150K right here. Just sold our last item. So this is what we came out with. 1,359,415 rubles minus whatever the cost of all of the flea market fees were. And I will say that was definitely my best run yet. Normally I come out with anywhere between 600,000 and 900,000, maybe a little bit more, but that was definitely the best one that I've done so far. Pulling out the RB S&P key was kind of huge, and I feel bad for that player scav. Rest in pepperoni to that dude. But we made almost 1.4 million off of that. If you add the other stuff, we're a little bit over 1.5. Not bad. Obviously not the fastest run you could possibly do. There's definitely better options if you're going for, you know, as much money as you can make per hour. But I would say to go into raid 25-30 minutes, however long it was, get into a little bit of PvP and come out with that much money, pretty good in my book. So that's going to do it for this video. I know it was kind of long. In my personal opinion, running Black Bishop and down in D2 on reserve is one of the best ways to make money right now. A lot of people don't really go to Black Bishop, and if they do, it's really just for drop room. People don't really understand the way that the dynamic loot and the bags and containers and stuff works, so they don't realize that these buildings just have an insane amount of duffel bags, computers, all that kind of stuff. So this has been working really good for me. It's allowed me to make a bunch of money, upgrade my hideout very quickly, progress through, and hopefully it'll work for you guys too. And if this video blows up and I start seeing a lot more people in Black Bishop, that's gonna really suck. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you found some value out of it, and I'll see you in the next one.